Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video about drafting. I wanted to just share some concepts, maybe some basic or more advanced concepts about drafting, because I feel like there's a lot of discussion on social media where losing teams usually get sort of destroyed for their drafts, and I feel like a lot of the comments don't back up what they're saying with much reasoning or logic, so I just wanted to share some concepts where you viewers at home can sort of follow along with what these high level teams are doing to prepare for their drafts. So, something important to bring up first would be every team thinks about draft differently because every team is different. They have different players who each have different skill sets, what they're strong at, what they're weak at. In League, there's two parts to winning a game. It's having good execution, which pretty much just means everything that is related to the gameplay. So, knowing how to play your lane, knowing how to communicate well with your team, coordinate well, just setting up objectives, playing team fights well, just playing as optimally as you can to your team's win condition. So, with execution, there's also draft, and that's just picking the most optimal 5 champions to accomplish whatever win condition your team has in mind. And I guess I should go over win conditions first. So, what is a win condition? A win condition basically just means what is the most optimal way for my 5 champions to beat their 5 champions. That's really all a win condition means. So, for example, if you draft, actually, even before I get into that, let's talk about some basic concepts of drafting. So, Riot likes to balance the game around champions having clear strengths and clear weaknesses. So, let's say a champion like Maokai. So, Maokai, he's a champion who has a lot of CC, a lot of utility, is really tanky, but he lacks in damage, he lacks in laning phase, he lacks in mobility. Like all those attributes, Riot will balance a champion around being strong in one attribute and being weak in other attributes. Even like a recent change for Maokai, his ult used to give a lot of utility, and that really showed how OP it was because he was giving too much utility for how much tankiness and how much of a good champion he already was. So they had to change and sort of shift the power from his utility ult to more, CC and damage. And with those things in mind, the general sort of theory you should have for draft is balancing your draft with, I guess, some key attributes of a team. So when you look at a draft, when you look at 5 champions in the 3 lanes, including the jungle, you want to be looking for champions that have priority. So, basically just what lanes win, and also the scalability, so how good your champions will scale. Other things to look for in a draft is sort of the cohesion. How well does your team comp play together? Do they power spike at the same times? Do they have the same skill set to play to a certain win condition? Generally, I'd say, teams, when they're on stage, about to go into champion select, they have a good idea of what they want to pick in terms of like a champion list. Like they know what their champion pools are. But until they start picking, they're not going to set in stone what sort of strategy they'll use yet. They don't know what lane assignment they're going to use. They don't know what sort of timing or power spikes they want to be looking for. They don't know what items they're going to be looking for yet if they didn't even pick their champions yet. So once they start picking their champions on like the 1, 2, 3, I'd say by the time you pick your first 3 champions, you already solidify what your win condition is through either how well you're scaling, how well your champions do in lane, or let's say if you have a good assassin pick coming up, you can counter pick. You can start setting up a 1-3-1 comp where you have a strong assassin in side lane and you use the pressure from your side laner to control objectives around the map. So that's one example that I do actually have right here that I can show. I have it on video. One sec. Alright, so I already have a video pulled up of SKT versus EDG. This is the last day of group stages. I guess we can start by recapping all of the concepts I've already been going over. And yeah, so win conditions, team comps, what they're trying to accomplish with their team comp, and whether or not they are picking a good draft. So let's start by looking over EDG. Their draft, Maokai, Gragas, LeBlanc, Tristana, Lulu. It's pretty clear 1-1 comp, and what I mean by a 1-1 comp is they have their lane assignment set up to a 1-1 formation. They'll be sending their solo laners to side lane and their AD carry to wave clear mid, while they have Gragas and Lulu supporting their strong side. And in 1-1 comp, the basis of it is to have really strong priority in at least 2 lanes, so that they can snowball really early in the game and snowball throughout the game to win as fast as they can. You know, they're not looking to scale. It's like the opposite of scaling. They want to power through the game and end really quickly. So EDG, they picked LeBlanc into Orianna. You know, picking an assassin into a control mage just means that there'll be a lot of pressure around mid lane. EDG will be using a lot of their resources to get LeBlanc ahead, so she can carry and use the win condition of side lane pressure to get a lot of objectives and snowball throughout the game. So you can tell that Trist Lulu can beat Twitch Janna. They don't really need priority from top side, so picking Maokai with much better scaling and sort of rounding up their tankiness and engage that they need in their team is the best pick. And jungle doesn't matter too much since Gragas into Sejuani is pretty even tempo and they have about the same utility. Gragas probably relies more on his flash than Sejuani, but overall it's a really balanced team comp that EDG has, and it's a really clear win condition. They're looking to snowball throughout the game and end the game really quickly. Whereas SKT's draft, you know, Trundle, Sejuani, Orianna, Twitch, Janna, they have a 1-4 comp and they're looking to scale. So the roles of, you know, each SKT's member is Huni will be pushing out the side lane. Sejuani and Janna will be setting up on their strong side, or just whatever objective that needs to be contested, especially throughout the mid game when they'll be pressured the most. And like Faker's Orianna and Bang's Twitch will just be looking to wave clear and hitting their item spikes of usually 2 items, sometimes maybe 3 items, but looks like this game they only need 2 items to start team fighting. So SKT's goal is just to make it to 2 items and start looking for team fights then. So I picked this video because EDG showed some really good execution around 1-1, and I just wanted to show a good example of how to play towards your win condition. So as we already said, EDG has a really clear win condition. All their champions make sense. They are playing towards having a strong early game and snowballing that into a strong mid game and hopefully ending the game with a Baron. So it's already past 20 minutes, Baron's already spawned. SKT is already down about 3,000 gold. It's usually expected to be down gold in like a 1-4 comp versus a 1-1 comp. SKT probably didn't expect to be down this much gold, but you know, in draft they aren't going to be afraid of going down gold or going down in kills, since they'll be looking to scale up through this game. And for EDG, like I said, they're a 1-1 comp. They'll be sending LeBlanc top, Trist Lulu mid, and Maokai bot. So Maokai is just going to be holding Trundle, Tristana wave clearing mid, while LeBlanc gets a lot of side lane pressure and establishing that their strong side is on this Baron buff. Like they'll be setting up all vision around Baron. Like they should be clearing out all these blue wards, killing this blue-pink ward, and placing all the pinks on their own to either pressure their rotation in between mid and top or pressuring Baron itself. It's actually pretty early in this game. It's only 22 minutes, so they shouldn't be starting Baron yet. They're not like that tanky and don't have enough damage to just burst Baron, but right now they're looking to rotate in between mid and top. So all that EDG is waiting for right now is for Scout to push out top lane. EDG is already wave clearing mid. They're going to be heading into the top side with Gragas vision controlling and looking to pressure top. Because as soon as this wave crashes, they'll be all in the tower and looking to either take the top tower or look for maybe some picks while they're rotating like SKT is rotating to defend. So, the EDG is playing, fairly safe, as they should be. They shouldn't be letting themselves get engaged on. Like on a 1-3-1 comp, you don't ever really want to get engaged on. You just want to pressure the map as hard as you can without actually going into a team fight. At least against another team fight comp. Like EDG's win condition, they do not want a team fight, ever. Like they don't want to take any sort of even numbered team fights because they should lose it. And SKT has the opposite mindset. They want to take any sort of 5v5 fight that they can take once they've reached their item spikes, or just if they can get a numbers advantage, actually. So EDG, like I said, they're using their pressure to snowball through the game. So at this point, they're already snowballing with a 3k gold advantage. They're looking for any sort of pick or any sort of misposition. Like right here, Scout's picking off Wolf, and I mean he just kills him. Yeah, it looks like he just killed him. So EDG with this pick will be able to go back to Baron, pressure Baron really hard, force SKT to walk in and put themselves into a bad team fight. So like I said before, SKT is looking for any sort of even number team fight, but once they're at a disadvantage, EDG will be looking to use their advantages to actually get a good team fight for them. And I just wanted to play it out a little bit more, so once we get Baron, we can see how EDG can use his Baron to end the game. This is actually going to be a pretty long game, so I probably won't review the whole game. SKT actually does end up even winning this game, so maybe this isn't the best example for a 1-3-1, but it's a really good execution. It's just unfortunate that SKT is such a good team that they can actually just outlast whatever snowball that EDG is trying to put on them. So once again, they're heading into a 1-3-1 situation. Maokai was just holding mid, so they're going to actually start pressuring bot, which is perfectly good. Usually what you want to do is hold mid lane and push out side lanes while you have a Baron in a 1-3-1 comp. So they're doing a good job. They're going to have Maokai clearing mid so that there's no sort of like counter pressure. And I mean, EDG already has all the information, so they don't actually even have to send anyone mid. They can just have everyone bot side and pressuring this bot tower. So LeBlanc, already knowing that Trundle's heading topside, is just going to head mid, pressure mid, and well, it was pretty bad grouping up that they got hit by Oriel, but this is really standard execution, and not a whole lot more that I can really comment on. It's just 1-3-1 comp. They are just playing it really well. So I guess that really does it for this video. Sorry if I blabbled on way too much. This is one of my first videos. Actually, like the first video I'll be making to put only on my YouTube channel. And I hope you guys can comment what I should do better. I don't think I have a very solid format yet, so I'm really open to some comments to change it up. And thank you guys for watching.